Hey everybody, welcome back to Colony Drop, your favorite Gundam podcast. My name is Isaac.
And my name is Brian, and this is a podcast where we talk about anything and everything related to the long-running anime series called Mobile Suit Gundam. What are we talking about today, Isaac?
Today is a very special episode, Brian. I don't know if you can hear those sleigh bells, those Gundam bells ringing. This is our week after Christmas episode. It's a Colony Dropmas.
If you really get a colony drop for Christmas, I mean, that's a pretty crappy gift.
Are you the one orchestrating the drop? Like, it might be the best gift ever, right?
Gift to yourself, maybe.
Giran would have loved to do a colony drop on Christmas Day.
I think the colony laser was Giran's gift to himself.
Of course, the solar ray, yes. Today we aren't just talking about Christmas in the Universal Century. Today we're talking about Christmas-themed Gundams, Brian. Holiday Gundams.
These are ideas just kicking around in our head about if there was a Christmas or holiday themed Gundam or mobile suit or mobile armor potentially, what would it look like? So let's find out.
Let's do it. Brian, did you list your ideas for holiday themed Gundams or mobile suits in any particular order?
No, I probably would give them in my what did we use last time from lame to wow or something?
Yeah, pretty much. Boring to wow.
Yeah, so I'll go from boring to wow, just like last time.
Okay. Interesting. Mine aren't really in any particular order. They were just how they kind of jumped at me in my imagination.
I should preface this with one of Isaac's best talents is coming up with punny names. Within 3 seconds, Isaac will figure out a pun for whatever it is you're talking about. It's like one of his, people just have those useless life skills they're just really good at. That is Isaac's skill. Like, it will never bring him fame or fortune, most likely. But damn it, if he just isn't the best pun creator, in the world. So I fully expect that he has some Christmas puns here for us.
Ironically, I might not. Other than
oh my god!
We'll see. I have 4 entries, but not necessarily for Gundam's listeners.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right. So I have 5. So should I start then?
Do it.
My first holiday Gundam idea is called the Dual Yule. It is piloted by our friend Isaac Jules' holiday alter ego. Our friend Isaac Jules' holiday alter ego, known as Isaac Yule. The Yule log. The Yule log is a Germanic tradition from, I think, dates back to the 17th or 18th century or something like that, where basically you just burn this special log, in your fireplace or your hearth. I think back then they called it. I think you burn a little bit of it every night for 12 nights for the 12 nights of Christmas. I think it ends on January 6th or something like that. And what is special about this dual Yule, you might ask? So this Yule edition of the Dual Gundam, there's absolutely nothing special about it. You know why? Because it's just like the Dual Gundam. That thing was a piece of junk.
Oh, no.
And it's only worthy of burning it. Isaac Yule burns a little piece of his Dual Yule every night for 12 nights until it's gone, and then no one notices because it's the Dual Gundam and nobody cares.
It doesn't even have 2 logs on its shoulders as kind of cannons.
Well, I was kind of thinking you would just paint it like a piece of wood.
Of course.
Like a brownish color scheme with maybe some green sprouts coming out of it. I mean, even when he puts on that dual, what do they call it? The dual assault shroud, which was the upgrade, right?
Oh,
he does get like a shoulder cannon, so maybe you could paint that like a twig coming out of the Yule log.
Sure. This really is the boring wow list because nobody wants a dual Gundam.
Nope. But you know what? It rhymed with Yule. So this was my one pun for the day, the Dual Yule. So there you go.
Try to out Isaac.
The Dual Gundam to me is like G Gundam to Isaac. It just if you actually like the Dual Gundam, comment below. I want to know and write me an essay why.
Yeah, why? Defend the Dual Gundam. We have to know. All right. Let me backtrack a little bit though, because I did have puns that I said Zex the Halls, as in Zex Marquis from Gundam Wing.
That's excellent.
But that's actually not one of my entries because I don't like Zex. Anyway, the other pun that I texted you was the Oh Holy Night, as in the mobile suit that Petimus uses in Zeta That
Another
obese
top
mobile
tier.
suit.
Yeah, another top tier pun.
But that's not one of my entries, Brian. My first entry that I offer tonight is Lump of Coal Gundam. Lump of Coal Gundam, it's envision like a skeletal Gundam, right? And it's like black, it's like coaly, right?
Yep.
It's got glowing eyes, but it's surrounded by a veritable fog, a swarm of these coal bits. They're like giant coal bits, and they attack people that are like on the naughty list. They attack like naughty pilots. So you have to like kind of zen yourself. You kind of have to like go into Buddhist mode in order for the bits to kind of ignore you, because otherwise they just attack you and pummel you to death.
Is this like an autonomous Christmas punishment drone for like naughty?
Something like that, yeah. It would probably be like a pilotless drone or a pilotless Gundam, or like there's Krampus inside it, like Krampus is the pilot or something.
Oh man, I didn't even think about Krampus. That would have been great.
Yeah, you pulling up this, you drop knowledge on our listeners about like German Yule log history, and you forget about Krampus, part of German history.
I have a lot of
like maybe the best thing to come out of German mythology.
Maybe the backstory for the lump of coal Gundam is that it's like the spirit of like asteroid debris that floats around in space, and it's like sentient now.
Pretty much, maybe. I just envision like the mobile suit really doesn't need much girth or anything like weight to it, so it's really skeletal. You know, it would almost be at home with like, you know, all the Devil Gundam's little squad, like the Monster Gundam or the Master Gundam and the Grand Gundam and all those guys. Yeah. It would very much fit in line with them. So it's like really skeletal looking. It's got glowing red eyes probably, and you can never really get a good look at it because it's surrounded by like this, you know, this vortex swarm of coal.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you clarified that it was skeletal, because when you first said lump of coal Gundam, I pictured like a Gundam version of Mr. Hanky the Christmas Poo from South Park.
Coal can't be poo shaped. All right. It just it's polygonal. Continue, Brian. What is your next entry?
All right. My next entry is the Strike Freedom LED Christmas Edition. So,
ooh.
Look, the Freedom Gundam was cool when it came out, right?
Was it?
In Seed. Well, it was you know, it was like respectable. I feel like the Freedom Gundam in Gundam Seed was not yet over the top. Okay. And then we rode into Seed Destiny, and I feel like somewhere in the course of Seed Destiny, the Strike Freedom just became this out of control beam spam machine where they just started giving it. And I'm going off memory here, so I could be wrong, but I feel like they just started giving it more and more beams of different colors. Like I feel like it started out with just green beams and maybe some red beams, and then all of a sudden there were like yellow beams, and then there were blue beams, and then all of a sudden he had funnels, which I think they were called the Dragoons, right? They're from like the Providence thing.
Yeah, I remember Dragoons.
Yeah, but those I think had blue stuff, and then like he had so many of the Dragoons, they kind of looked like the Wings of Light. So this dude just, you know, Kira just had everything by the end. Like he couldn't get his own shtick. He just would like, well, there's like that idea from this series over here. I want that gun on mine. And then they put that on the Strike Freedom. So he's, to me, all those colors, they just remind me of Christmas lights. Like if I had to go down the street and I saw just these out of control Christmas lights and I had to assign it a Gundam, it would definitely be the Strike Freedom Gundam. And I think that's particularly true today, because in the last like 10 years or so, like LED Christmas lights have just taken off. And now I feel like we're being spammed by LED Christmas lights, which I don't mind, by the way. I actually really like Christmas lights, but it just makes me think of the Strike Freedom. It's just like color here, and then so if you just took the Strike Freedom, changed its blues and maybe its blacks to like green, it's already got red on it. It's already got all the twinkly lights. He's basically a walking Christmas tree already. If he just changed his colors a little bit.
What I like about it is not only is it a good idea, it can be built, Brian. This can reasonably be built. You know, you can't do lump of coal Gundam, but you can definitely do LED Christmas Gundam. The lights go with Christmas, and beam spam also goes with Christmas, as long as they're Christmas colored. My next entry, Brian, isn't actually a Gundam. It's a type of mobile suit. And these mobile suits are deployed as a group, so there'll be multiple of them out there. Okay, maybe a swarm almost. Say it with me now. They're elf miniature mobile suits.
Ooh.
All right, they're Gundam's little helpers, and what they do is In the field, Brian, they go to work in the field, Brian. They build equipment, just like Santa's elves build little toys for all the good little girls and boys. These miniature mobile suits, they build like, you need a cannon in the field, they'll build the cannon. You need a new shield, they build the new shield. You need a booster pack, they build the booster pack with the external fuel tanks. They give you everything you need out in the field. They're your little helpers. They don't really do combat, but they'll actually be out in the field, supporting you. They also repair the Gundams, the friendly Gundams.
Are they based on any particular model of mobile suit, or do they look like little mobile suit elves?
I would imagine little mobile suit elves. As far as their eyes, the optics, they can't be mono-eyed because I think that'd be too villainous.
Oh, that'd be creepy.
Yeah, I don't think they can be like blank face. If anything, they'd be better off kind of having gym faces. I think that's the most benign looking face. They'd have to have like the little point at the head. They're miniature, so they have to be next to regular sized mobile suits. It'd have to look like the Den Zon, kind of next to like whoever. Actually, a Den Zon might be a great look to it. Maybe they'll go with goggle eyes.
I think we need one that's like larger and looks like Will Ferrell.
The lead elf. Sure, we can have that one. He'll be, I don't know, he'll be like the point man or something. He'll be the foreman. All right, Brian, what's your next one?
Okay, so we make fun of the Leo a lot on this podcast. So the Leo from Gundam Wing, which 100% the Leo deserves all of the crap that we give it. It is the punching bag of the After Colony timeline. So I thought it was fitting if we could make a gingerbread Leo.
Oh my God.
If you just paint the Leo like a gingerbread brown, and then turn a few of the parts white, sort of like the exposed underframe parts. So there's like
I like that.
a crotch vernier, it's elbow joint, it's like diaphragm joint, and these two little things up near like its chest. It's got its ball jointed shoulders. If you turned all those parts white and painted it, the rest of it, the gingerbread brown, and then slapped like a giant oversized gingerbread man head on it, it would totally look like a gingerbread man. And it's perfect because you know what? Nobody likes Leos and nobody likes gingerbread either. Do you know anyone who actually eats gingerbread, Isaac?
Excuse me.
And like enjoys it? You enjoy gingerbread?
You know what? Listeners, I'm putting out the call now. Comment below if you like eating gingerbread cookies during Christmas. Gingerbread men are delicious, especially homemade. Brian, you've been having bad gingerbread. I think that's the problem.
It could be. It could very well be. Like today, I built one of those gingerbread houses, and I have no desire to eat the gingerbread. I feel like it's such a waste, just like the Leos. And gingerbread men, when you see them like in movies or TV shows, or they're always getting their like limbs broke off, and I just think that fits the Leo perfectly, because the Leos are always blowing up, going down. What do you think about the gingerbread Leo, Isaac? You could give it a little like Christmas scarf, it could fly through space, and that scarf would wave. I think it'd be hilarious.
Like it. It needs colored grenades that are kind of like its gumdrop buttons down the middle.
There you go.
Things they can pull off and like use in combat. But other than that, I love the idea of just how crumbly gingerbread men are compared to like how just next to useless the Leo is. And I'm pretty sure in Gundam Wing, I think the space type that Oz uses are brown. Because like Oz is, Oz color coded their Leos depending on where they were deployed. I'm pretty sure brown was like one of the colors they used.
Yeah, they were definitely close.
So we're halfway there.
I saw like an olive one and like a purple one. I didn't see a brown one, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they used all the crappy colors for the Leos, but
pretty much, yeah.
But yeah, in Gundam Wing, it is a common sight to see a Leo, missing a leg or an arm, and I feel like it's just like a gingerbread man,
Pretty much. They crumble under you. Yeah.
There you go. That's my number 3.
Okay. My next one, it's actually not for Christmas. Can you guess what holiday it's for, Brian, during this holiday season?
Hanukkah.
Absolutely right. Say it with me now, Brian. It's Dreidel Gundam.
Ooh.
Dreidel Gundam's here. It folds up into a Dreidel mobile armor and does like a spinning attack where it's impervious. So it starts spinning around, crushing the other enemy mobile suits or Gundams. And get this, it fights with, are you ready for this, Brian?
I'm ready.
It fights with a beam menorah.
Ooh. I thought about making a Hanukkah Gundam, and I was trying to get a menorah in there somewhere, but I couldn't make it make sense. I did not foolish me. I did not think of the
Yeah.
dreidel transformation.
Of course not. Or the beam menorah. But brace yourself, okay? Here's how the beam menorah works. It first pops out and it looks like a beam saver, right? Like a different, bottom, because there has to be the platform for the menorah, right?
Right. Yeah.
But and for our listeners, I'm not Jewish. I'm just very familiar with this because I studied history, and world religions. Anyways, and it looks like a normal beam saver. So imagine you're fighting the Dreidel Gundam. You're in like, I don't know, a Kwanzaa Zaku or something, and you're like, oh, it's just a beam saber. I can handle this before. No. Then the other sides of the menorah pop out, and they project their own beams. So it's like a raking wide beam of a menorah that you have to fight.
Menorah rake. That's diabolical.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to duel someone that has a beam saber, but imagine a beam menorah. There's going to be so many beams that you have to deal with.
This reminds me of episode 1, Phantom Menace, when Darth Maul first fires up the second part of the lightsaber. And I feel like as the audience, you were like, oh crap, this guy's got a second one, right? Well, then there was some spoof video, I don't know, within the last 5 years, I feel like, where someone had a lightsaber and he kept just clicking the button and like another lightsaber would come out of his lightsaber and it would just like and so that's how I envision this menorah going, where like he fires up the second one and then maybe an ally suit comes to help whoever's fighting the menorah, the Dreidel Gundam, and then he just fires up another one and then he just keeps doing it until he's got 8 crazy lights.
You underestimate it at first, and then the beams just keep coming out of that beam menorah, and then you're in trouble.
Do you think that this would be Israel's entry into the Gundam fight?
That's a good question. I'm going to say no. And I say that because almost every country, although we never saw what the Vatican sent for their mobile suit, there might be the only one that can get away with it. Almost every country uses something like really secular about themselves, if you think about it, right? Yeah. I mean, even the most religious countries in the world, they never sent like a religious themed Gundam. So I think Israel would do the same thing. They might do something else, like, I don't know what they'd call it, a Dead Sea Gundam or something like that. I don't know. Something.
Have you ever played Dreidel?
I went to like my mom's coworker's house once for like, they had Hanukkah and like they kind of showed us how to do it and stuff like that. And I'll say no, because I have almost no recollection of how you actually do it.
It's very simple. You spin the dreidel, and then there's 4 sides to the dreidel. So the 4 different sides are either you win everything in the pot, you win half of it, or you have to put in some. No, you I don't know. We usually play with like pennies or something, but
oh wow. Oh.
Or nothing happens. Whatever action you take, the word is written on that side of the dreidel. So maybe you could work that into the spinning attack. Like if it lands on one side, it's more powerful, or like it blows up if it lands on the side where you
I like that idea. That's pretty good. I like that idea.
I don't know. This Dreidel Gundam sounds like a beast.
We've never seen a multi-beam saber, have we? I rest my case.
I'd be scared of that menorah rake for sure.
Well, good luck dodging it.
All right. My number 4 is called the Candy Cane Impulse. So,
wow.
Listeners may remember from Seed Destiny the Impulse Gundam, which was the starting Gundam, or I'll say the first half Gundam for Shin, the main character. And my favorite.
Shin.
Yeah. Ironically, Shin is one of the words on the dreidel. So look at that. Full circle.
Like when you do that, like he just shows up.
Yeah. There you go. And then you're like, oh, who ruined the party and invited Shin?
Like, oh, this guy. Yeah.
So you may remember that the Impulse had different striker packs or the equivalent of striker. I think they were called silhouette packs in Seed Destiny. There was like the Force pack, and then there was the sword pack. And I always thought the sword pack was the coolest design maybe in the whole show. You got these 2 giant swords, which could fire up like a beam on one side, and they were just as tall as the Gundam itself, and it was pretty ridiculous, but I thought it was a lot of fun to watch, and it makes for a great model kit. And that was one of the only packs, I think, that turned the Gundam to an all red color scheme.
Oh,
And this
wow.
kind of reminds me of our discussion about the F90 Unit 2 or whatever, and you were saying you wanted more red. Does the Sword
Yeah,
Impulse have enough red for you as a Gundam on it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no Char.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Char goes overboard with his pink, but I always thought the Sword Impulse looked pretty cool. So this is perfect because instead of just giant swords, you just give him giant candy canes, and you could even turn his red into green, and then give him red candy canes, or you could just leave him red and give him
Ooh.
green candy canes, and he just imagine the Impulse beating the crap out of people with these giant candy canes. It would be a lot more like
Yeah.
the Gundam Barbados. I think the candy cane would be more of a blunt force instrument than the beam
Yeah.
swords.
Or
But
you can like hook enemies,
yeah, yeah, you could hook them
Yeah.
around the waist, hook their legs, break their legs off with these terrifying candy canes of justice. Yeah.
And then like in the battle scene where like he's in trouble, like the candy canes kind of shatter because they're like a ceramic, like the peppermint
Oh,
kind of,
yeah, like
and
that.
like he can't believe like the shatter. He's like, Nani?
Nani? The power of Christmas has failed.
Yeah. He broke his peppermint sabers.
But then he could use like the shards. Because you ever like accidentally bite a candy cane like shard or like a really sharp part of a candy cane? Those things are deadly, man.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like such a fine angle within the break.
Yeah, or you get those like psycho kids who would suck on their candy cane to a point to make it sharp.
Oh God, yeah.
It's dangerous.
Then like poke themselves. Those psycho,
Yeah.
those future sociopaths.
I feel like Shin would be one of those kids.
We gotta help him out. We gotta get that cell phone away from him. Like, this is for your own good.
All right, Isaac, what's your number 3?
4, I think. Yeah,
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I think so. This is actually my final entry, Brian, and
Oh,
it's
yep.
it's an ensemble. Are you ready for this, Brian?
I'm ready.
This is Gundam Manger Wing, also known as Manger Force,
Wow.
and it features a team up, a Gundam squad. In it is Donkey Gundam, Sheep Gundam, Camel Gundam.
Sorry, you lost me after Donkey.
In it is Donkey Gundam, Sheep Gundam, Camel Gundam, Hay Gundam, and the leader is Shepherd Gundam.
Wow. All right, I want explanations on all of these. Especially, did I
Okay.
hear Hey Gundam? Did I hear that
You-
right?
Is there hay in a manger? I rest my case. Now, these Gundams are pretty powerful on their own. All right, nothing too fancy, right? The Donkey Gundam's kind of stubborn. He's got like a powerful kick. The Sheep Gundam can kind of ram you, and it's got like a lot of kind of Minovsky fluff that can like dissipate beams. Camel Gundam, like it never overheats because it's got all this water in it. Shepherd Gundam's the leader, maybe the tallest and most humanoid, and it's got like the shepherd's crook. And Hay Gundam is like, it might be like amorphous almost, like it kind of spread out like hay, like a gray goo almost, but it's hay.
Wow.
And they combine together into hovering manger mobile armor. And when there's one bright star in the sky, they gain a special beam attack that fires out from the manger.
I'm speechless. It's amazing.
It damn right is, yeah.
Does the Camel Gundam have like a spit attack?
Probably, yeah. It wouldn't be beam. It'd probably be like an acid or something, like an
Okay.
armor-eating acid spit.
The,
But I
the,
see them as good guys.
okay, so they're good guys. The Sheep Gundam and the Minovsky fluff is really intriguing.
Thank you.
I really like that. I think that's good.
You know what? It was only a matter of time before someone went back to like Minovsky's work and said, "Okay, we have to somehow put a Minovsky field into like a physical type of armor that we can actually put on things, because it's too powerful." So
Yeah, I mean they're basically invulnerable as long as they
Yeah.
got the sheep on their team. Yeah.
Maybe it broadcasts in Ifield.
Do they have like a ship that's like a barn that they can dock with, as part of the mobile armor mode?
I envision them more as forming the manger as they like kind of transform together as a group. Like they
Okay.
all assemble and they turn into like the kind of wooden beam type manger.
Got it.
They're able to fire a very special beam attack.
I love it. Can they link up with 3 other wise Gundams perhaps to be even more powerful?
Magi Gundam was one of my concepts, but I didn't go through with it because I was having too difficult of a time with like, okay, the gold's easy, right? We just make it like Hyakushiki, okay, and it can like dissipate beam attacks. But frankincense and myrrh, I had too much trouble. So I was like, you know what? Manger Gundam pretty much covers enough of Magi Gundam, three wise men Gundam. So I went with that more because it was funnier, I thought, to go with the Gundam Manger Force.
Man, you gotta watch out for that donkey. He's
that's that kick. Don't get there. Don't go back there.
I do think the Magi could be a cool team name for like a side story featuring like a Xeon, ace pilot squad on a mission on Christmas.
That's
or
pretty
something.
Cool. Oh, what they call the pilots, like the 3 wise men or something like that.
Something like that,
old
yeah.
guys or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Call sign frankincense. Call sign myrrh. Call sign gold.
Yeah, that could be fun. All right, you ready for my number 5 here?
Do it. Hit me
with it. This is actually the first one that came to my mind, and what I also thought was the most obvious. So I'm surprised that you didn't have a similar one. But this is what I call Master Claus and his reindeers. So,
oh my god.
Everyone is familiar with the Master Gundam from G Gundam. It's piloted by Master Asia, Domon's teacher, and Master Asia turns out to be one of the antagonists in the series. But he's a good guy at heart. He was just a little corrupted by the Devil Gundam. So the Master Gundam is this dark-looking mobile suit, but it's got these 2. I don't know, how would you describe those? Its head. I think it's got 2 big head spikes.
Almost like wings. It has head wings.
Yeah, that's fair. His head looks like a stealth bomber kind of.
Like the bat ears on a Gundam almost.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, you put some Santa hats on each one of those wings.
Wow.
Okay, and then you change up his color scheme a little bit. You turn the black into red and all the red into white, and he basically looks like a Gundam Santa-y kind of thing. And then he rides in a sleigh. Okay, and the Master Gundam has this armored mode, or I think the technical name for it is like the normal mode, but that doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm going to call it the armored mode. He has these wing binders in the back. In the armored mode, the wing binders sort of unfold and surround him. And so I'm thinking he sits in this sleigh in armored mode, and then he is pulled by his fleet of reindeers, which now, if you remember G Gundam, there was a Gundam horse in that show. There was it was Master Asia's trusty steed, Fun Psyche, and instead of a horse, we could easily have a reindeer Gundam, and Fun Psyche had a unicorn horn, but instead we could have Gundam antlers, no problem. And then of course he has to be led by a reindeer with a red nose, so that you got Gundam Rudolph in the front there, and so
fire a beam.
It fires an omnidirectional beam, right? Because it lights up the sky. His
it is round,
just everywhere except back on himself. To use as a last resort, certainly. So Master Claus, rides through space, rides through the Earth, delivering presents to all of the colonies. People may also remember that the Master Gundam has a beam cloth. That weapon that Master Asia used, the Master Gundam had a beam version of it, which doesn't even make sense. But so instead of a beam cloth, he could have a beam sack of gifts. Yeah.
Are these gifts explosive or somehow like weaponized?
Yes. Why not? They're either explosive or, because maybe they're made of DG cells, the Devil Gundam cells, they could become whatever you want. You could, that way you could give a gift and it turns into whatever the person needs. So especially in the G Gundam timeline, all the people on Earth are struggling, so he delivers plentiful gifts to all the needy people on Earth, riding through the sky with his reindeer Fun Psyches.
Only the Devil Gundam would conspire to ruin Christmas by deploying like a false Santa Gundam and like false reindeer.
It's diabolical. really.
You know what? Since Double Gundam's behind this, I think we know that Lump of Coal Gundam is going to go after him.
Oh, 100%. I mean, Rudolph is going to have to use that omnidirectional beam to fight Lump of Coal Gundam for sure.
Man, that's going to be a close battle. I don't know. I think, yeah, Master Gundam or Master Santa Claus Gundam might win.
He's going to have to call in some reinforcements, though, from the Sheep Gundam.
We'll have to send in Manger Force.
Yeah. Send out that call.
Force.
The North Star is twinkling. Get Manger Force out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is the North Star like Manger Force's bat symbol?
I was thinking it's more like their moon for Gundam X.
Oh.
You know, like when that is out, that's when they're able to power up their beam, the Manger beam.
The Manger beam. Oh my God. This is perfect.
And then they need that star in the sky. Then there's like, okay, this is clearly a good sign. We can use the beam today.
So when they fire it, I'm thinking it's kind of like the Power Rangers. Remember when they the first season of Power Rangers, they would all put their weapons together, and then they would fire that, like, I don't know, that arrow, that bow and arrow looking thing with the axe. Yeah. I'm figuring all the animals get behind the shepherd, and he fires the beam out of his crook, like maybe it becomes like an Ankh,
Ooh, maybe. I like the idea of it coming out of the manger when they're in their manger form, but I can't think of where. Like maybe there's like a main beam, like wooden beam, I mean, at the top of like the manger or something.
This would be one of those things in anime where they scream the attack name, right? So like Manger Beam, that would sound amazing in, exaggerated Japanese. Yeah. Manger Beam!
Pretty much. Yeah. God, this would be such a great Christmas episode because like maybe we'll make it in Flash or something. But like, because Double Gundam would absolutely be behind like ruining Christmas.
He would. All these holiday themed Gundams would have to team up to take him out. And you know who would die first? Dual Yule.
The elf miniature mobile suits. You know what? They might be dumb enough to like switch sides. Like since they're elves, they might listen to Master Gundam like the moment they look at him. Like
maybe they get corrupted, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Or they're just too gullible and they'll follow orders from whoever looks like Santa that's nearby. It could be like the Zaku's in the holiday special, the Gundam Holiday Special. They'll be the Zaku's. They just get like destroyed left and right.
As long as Strike Freedom LED Christmas version does not save the day, because that's too cliche. We can't have that.
I was gonna say he'd be like the perfect hero. Who's the hero then? It can't be Lump of Coal Gundam, because Lump of Coal Gundam, like, it's essentially Krampus, so it's not necessarily part of the team. It's more like a force of nature. It can't be Dreidel Gundam.
I don't know. Does he like refuse to help out of like principle?
I think Dreidel Gundam's there to help, but like he will only help in a support capacity.
Is he like the big brother support character, kind of like Racer X or like Schwarzbruder was at the beginning of G Gundam?
Something like that. Yeah. Lump of Coal Gundam might be like that too, like really dark and mysterious, and like they have no idea it's Krampus actually underneath the pilot suit. They can't see its face.
Well, Candy Cane Impulse, he could be a good protagonist.
Yeah, I like that one way better because like it's, I don't know, the weapons are so unique that only a hero might use them. Like Barbados with the club.
Yeah. And Master Claus, he's like the guy. I guess he's the one you're saving, right? He's the one in danger. Okay, so we got a plot. We got a plot coming.
Yeah, we got a plot. Or isn't Master Claus like responsible for the crime? He's under the control of Double Gundam, so you almost have to free Master Claus and like kind of shake him out of it, and like, hey, you're ruining Christmas. Because
that works.
You're sending Double Gundam packages and presents to all the little boys and girls.
That parallels Master Age's actual story really, really nicely.
Pretty much, yeah.
Domon defeats him to like free him from the Double Gundam. So, I don't know. I'm thinking that's a solid 7.5 out of 10. Certainly better than the 00 movie.
I think we just created the first Gundam Holiday Special. And at the end, they team up and defeat Double Gundam, who reveals himself as the true enemy, and they save Christmas.
And then the after credit scene is all of the heroes around a bonfire roasting the dual Yule.
Would that be like the first Gundam that gets destroyed?
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Yeah. He's the opening scene, right? When the bad guy he's the inciting event where the bad guy has to do something bad, take a life or something to they mean business. I like it. Yeah. He gets cut down. And they just continue burning his body at the end because it's the dual Gundam. Well, listeners, we hope you enjoyed our Gundam Holiday Special. We would love to know your Gundam Holiday designs, your Gundam ideas. Do you have any combining mobile suits like Isaac's Manger Force? I mean, wow.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tune in for our next episode, which will not be holiday themed.
Happy New Year, everybody.